महाभारतम् धर्म अधर्म संघर्षणम्।
In course of time, Satyavati gave birth to two sons. They were named Chitrangada and Vichitravirya. Shantanu died when Vichitravirya was yet a boy. Chitrangada was once engaged in a fight with a Gandharva. He was killed by the Gandharva. Vichitravirya, who was very young, was crowned king. At Satyavati's request, Bhishma assisted Vichitravirya in carrying on the administration. When Vichitravirya came of age, Bhishma wished to find him a bride. Satyavati agreed. At this time, the king of Kashi arranged the Swayamvara for his 3 daughters. Swayamvara is where a bride herself chooses her husband. Bhishma desired that his brother should marry the 3 sisters. He went to where the Swayamvara was in progress. He said to the assembled kings, "I am taking these 3 girls with me. They will marry my younger brother Vichitravirya. If any of you are strong enough, overcome me." The kings knew how formidable Bhishma was and were quiescent. Only one king, Shalva by name, fought splendidly, but he was no match for Bhishma, a master of weapons. He was defeated. Bhishma brought the 3 girls, Ambe, Ambike and Ambalike, to Hastinavati. He asked the ministers and priests to make arrangements to celebrate his brother's wedding with grandeur. The eldest of the girls, Ambe, came to Bhishma. She said, "Bhishma, I have already chosen King Shalva as my husband. He also loves me. If you consent, I shall marry him." Bhishma felt that it was not right to ask a girl who was in love with someone else to marry his brother. He sent her to Shalva with all honors. Ambike and Ambalike were happy to marry Vichitravirya. So there were no more problems. It was a grand wedding and everyone was happy. Shalva rejected Ambe, who had gone to him. He said to her, "My defeat at the hands of Bhishma is disgrace enough. I do not want to receive charity from him. You can go back to him." So she returned to Hastinavati and told Bhishma what had happened. She said, "Very well, you marry me." He replied, "Don't you know? I have sworn not to marry. I cannot marry you." So Ambe's life was blighted. She was furious with Bhishma, who had ruined her life. She swore that she would destroy him and departed. Vichitravirya, who had married Ambike and Ambalike, spent all his time in pleasures. So he became victim to a strange disease. The best of doctors treated him, but their efforts were unavailing. His condition grew worse and he died. Everyone was plunged in grief. Satyavati's grief was beyond words. Chitrangada died unmarried. Vichitravirya was married but had no children. Bhishma had sworn never to marry. She was wretched because the Kuru dynasty would now end. She then remembered Vedavyasa. When she was yet young, she had given birth to him by the grace of sage Parashara. Vedavyasa was great even among the great. The recollection of Vedavyasa gave her some comfort. She spoke to Bhishma and he invited the sage to the palace. Satyavati said to the sage, "My child, the Kuru dynasty will be wiped out. You are great. Bless my daughters-in-law with children." Vedavyasa went to Ambike. His luster frightened her. She shut her eyes in fear And so the child she bore by the grace of Vedavyasa was born blind. This child was Dhritarashtra. Vedavyasa then went to Ambalike. Her body turned pale when she saw his effulgence. So the child she gave birth to was whitish. The child was named Pandu. Satyavati was wretched because Ambike's child was born blind. She called Ambike and said, "Earn the grace of Vedavyasa." But Ambike, who had been frightened by the effulgence of Vyasa, was scared. She disguised a maid servant like herself and sent her to Vyasa. The servant was not frightened but served the sage with reverence. By Vyasa's grace, she too bore a child. The child grew up and later became famous as the righteous Vidura. The Kuru dynasty flourished after the birth of Dhritarashtra, Pandu and Vidura. The vassal kings offered tributes promptly. There was no fear of thieves and murders anywhere in the kingdom. People were virtuous. Everywhere the lands smiled with rich crops. The Kuru land glowed with happiness. Dhritarashtra was born blind but had immense strength. He too received the vow of Brahmacharya along with Pandu and Vidura. All the three were proficient in gymnastics. They mastered several arts like archery, mace fighting and elephant rearing. They were proficient in the Vedas and philosophy. Dhritarashtra excelled in physical prowess, Pandu in archery and Vidura in ethics. Dhritarashtra was blind and therefore Pandu was crowned king when he came of age. He was guided by Bhishma in carrying on the administration. He also consulted his elder brother Dhritarashtra and the younger brother Vidura. The three attained youth. Bhishma thought it was time they got married. He learnt that Sabala, the ruler of Gandhara, had a daughter Gandhari by name, as virtuous as she was lovely. He went to Sabala and sought his daughter in marriage for Dhritarashtra. Sabala knew that Dhritarashtra was blind, but he also knew the greatness of the Kuru dynasty and consented to the marriage. Gandhari too agreed to marry Dhritarashtra. Soon they became husband and wife. Gandhari thought, "When my husband has been denied the boon of sight, why should I enjoy it?" So she blindfolded herself for life. Shurasena was one of the Yadava rulers. He had a daughter Pritha and a son Vasudeva. Vasudeva's son was the sublime Sri Krishna. Kunti Bhoja, a close friend of Shurasena, adopted Pritha and brought up the girl. Because Kunti Bhoja brought her up, she came to be called Kunti. She grew up into a bewitching beauty, as virtuous as she was lovely. Once, sage Durvasa arrived in Kunti Bhoja's court as his guest. He was a great sage. He was also of a quick temper. Kunti Bhoja realized that he had to be entertained with the utmost care and assigned the task of his care to Kunti. She attended to his needs with unwavering care so that the hospitality was flawless. Pleased, the sage taught her a mantra and said, "If you utter this mantra and think of any god, he will appear before you and you will have a son by his grace." Kunti, still very young, was delighted with the boon. With a curiosity natural to her age, she wished to test the efficacy of the mantra. Without telling anyone, she went to the banks of the river. The rosy dawn fascinated her. She meditated on the glorious sun and uttered the mantra. The effulgent sun god stood before her. He granted her a lovely bony son. The child was glowing with earrings and an armor. Kunti pressed the child to her bosom and caressed it. But suddenly she was dismayed. She cried to herself, "What have I done? I am yet unmarried. What will people say if I return with an infant in my arms?" She placed the infant in a wooden box. With tears in her eyes, she set the box float. She turned to the radiant sun and prayed, "Mighty God, protect this child." With a heavy heart, she returned to the palace. Floating upon the waves, the box reached the other bank. A chief of the charioteers, called Athiratha, sighted the box and took it. His joy knew no bounds when he found the child inside, because he had no children. He gave it to his wife, Radhe. Both accepted the child as their own and brought it up. The word Vasu means wealth. Because the child was endowed with jewels at birth, they called it Vasushena. Because it was born with earrings, Karna Kundala, people called it Karna, and the child became celebrated by that name. Vasushena became a rare master of archery. He used to offer worship to the sun god at dawn, and he would not deny any prayer at that time. So, he came to be known as Karna of matchless magnanimity. Kunti grew up into a lovely maiden and attained the age of marriage. Kunti Bhoja organized a Swayamvara for her to choose her husband. King Pandu attended it. Kunti chose him and garlanded him. Kunti Bhoja celebrated their marriage with great splendor. Later, Pandu married Madri, the daughter of King Rithayata of Madra. Vidura married Parashavi, the daughter of King Devaka. They were all immensely happy together.